In our home, the morning was comfortable. I smiled as I noticed that my plan is gradually taking shape as I glanced through my travel journal. I can't wait to share with my family the lavish trip I planned for them. I desire their happiness. This next weekend, a luxurious and renowned resort will host the vacation. My husband came into the kitchen as I was making breakfast for my foursome. His presence filled me with excitement. I wanted to share the vacation with him. David, guess what? I have been preparing something very remarkable for the family and me. Oh, really, do tell, my love. I've been planning the most lavish and grand family vacation, and it's going to be unforgettable. I'm very excited to see what you have in store. How may I assist? Well, I believe sending the invites will be helpful. Your mom will adore it, I'm sure of it. My spouse took a little break. He seemed uncertain about what I had said, as though he was considering something. But will you love having her around? I exhaled. I am at a loss on what to do. Although I am aware of the tension between us, the main goals of this vacation are to build relationships and create memories. I aspire to be the more mature person. I want to get in touch with her and ask her to come on our vacation because of this. My dear, you have such a beautiful spirit. I'm so happy that you're the stronger individual. Well, I'll forward the invitation to her. Together, let's make this vacation one to remember. My spouse gave me a firm hug and a forehead kiss. Nancy, my mother-in-law, and I don't get along well. We constantly disagree on topics, therefore we get into heated disagreements quite a bit. However, I can see that she despises me profoundly. She had her sights set on another girl, David's childhood best friend, and never wanted me to wed him. She had always desired him for her, which is why she gets so irritated with me so much. She has made several attempts to make me look bad in front of everyone. Even worse, she calls me derogatory names. I will always remember one particular occasion. She struck my face. It was the 5th birthday of my son. Despite my best efforts to plan the most extravagant celebration, there was a small error when the caterer's orders conflicted and he neglected to create the cake. In a panic, I started searching for an answer. However, my mother-in-law was furious with me. She called me a moron for planning the celebration. If I had done it, everything would have been perfect, she remarked. She became more irate with each reminder that the guests were still searching for the cake. She took hold of the backup cake, wiped it on my face, and gave me a smack. Anything's a good thing no one witnessed anything because the disturbance took place in the kitchen. Her attack hurt so much that I sobbed. Yet she didn't even say sorry. Facing the visitors as if nothing had occurred, she emerged from the kitchen. After that horrible experience, I made myself get over it and corrected the cake. It was my son's birthday, and I wanted it to go well. I came to comprehend that she may abuse me that day. What she did surprised and horrified me to the core. However, I still want us to get along and establish a connection for the benefit of our family. Our children entered the kitchen a bit later and began to eat their waffles and pancakes. I informed them about the trip. It was lovely to see the enthusiasm in their eyes. Sophia, my oldest, began making a list of things she wanted to accomplish right away. She even made travel plans. As all of this was going on, our youngest child, Leo, finished his waffles and ran to his bed. He declared that he would immediately begin packing his clothing. Observing their delight made my heart melt. I have been picturing this precise moment since I started organizing this vacation. The following day, I devoted my whole day to completing reservations for flights, lodging, and additional costs. Travel guides, brochures, and a laptop screen advertising a luxurious beach resort littered my study. I could feel my heart rate spike with adrenaline. I was hoping for the very best. I'd been engrossed in planning the ideal trip for a whole month. I went all out to get my family the greatest lodgings possible and the nation's top-rated beach resort. I sighed deeply when I scheduled everything at last. Satisfied, I closed my eyes and visualized the immaculate white dunes, the glistening turquoise seas, and the sumptuous lodging. This is the just reward for my family. I paid for everything after taking a brief nap to make sure that all of the family members were comfortable and happy. I gave my mother-in-law some thinking. Would she make an appearance? Is she going to enjoy it? It was my goal that this vacation would bring us together. My spouse subsequently texted me to confirm her presence. She planned to accompany us. I was hoping that the smoothness would continue throughout the trip. But that evening, when my husband got home, he gestured for me to have a private talk. I went to our room after him. He gave off a serious air, as though he had something significant to say. He said, "My mom decided to come with us." "That's fantastic," just like I had intended. Excitement filled my response. But she's already on her way here." "Hold on, what? She's already on her way?" "Yes, and she said she wants to oversee the preparations." "But I'm in charge of that." "Yes, I did tell her not to worry about anything. I assured you that everything was taken care of and that you had already made reservations." "She doesn't trust you, though. She thinks I'll ruin the trip." "Love, I know. I really apologize. However, this is my mom. You're familiar with her. She's dictatorial. Just try to comprehend her and act like the more mature person." I let out a long sigh. There was nothing for me to do. I replied by nodding. My spouse assured me that she would arrive by the next morning. I recalled the birthday of my son. What would happen if there was a travel mishap, such as rescheduled lodging or delayed flights? I could already picture my in-laws' ire. The notion of what kind of mistreatment she may do to me made my heart race. When morning eventually arrived, she finally made it to our home. The children ran to her and gave her hugs. Her strong family orientation was one of her redeeming traits. I walked over to her and gave her a respectful peck on the cheeks. She followed suit, but her tyrannical demeanor reappeared in a few minutes. I was forced to comply with her request for a substantial and nutritious meal. She requested the itinerary after lunch and went over every detail. Her eyes squinted as she turned pages through it. Is something wrong? Am I culpable once more? She rolled her eyes as she gave me a look. Why does she behave in this way? She remained silent. I'm not sure if she approves of it because of this. However, it appears that she is not interested in anything I had in mind. Later that evening, my spouse returned home. I heard them conversing. I could see he was really delighted to see his mother. "So, are you sure that your wife will not sabotage this trip because of me?" "No, mother." I could see that Olivia was really excited and motivated to organize this family trip. Her only concern is what's best for us. That girl is awkward and stupid. I'll be observing her every action and calling attention to any errors I see. "Mom, please don't do that. That is not how Olivia is." "Son, I'm more aware. For once, just have faith in her." "I never will. By the way, Maya was asked to accompany us." "What? Why not?" "She is your childhood love, and she recently returned from a trip to Europe. She's the city's most accomplished bachelorette, and I want her to have fun on our vacation." "I have to consult Olivia first." "Why?" "Since this is her journey. This was all arranged by her. She has a right to be fully informed." "It's not going to occur. He may not like it, but Maya is coming. Here, it's me who needs to be obeyed." Recognized. When I saw my husband, he was irate. Why is my mother-in-law mistreating me like this? Is her hatred of me really that deep? Maya is the girl my mother-in-law wants my husband to marry. She was his childhood buddy. All of my anxieties are surging into my system. This cannot be taking place. Mother-in-law shouldn't get involved in my personal matters. This vacation was paid for and organized by me, therefore she can't just invite others along without first asking my permission. That is simply blatantly disrespectful. The trip's day finally arrived. The whole household was giddy with excitement. The children's excitement for the enjoyable activities that were in store for them was overwhelming. My spouse was ecstatic to view the resort as well. Our other family members showed up as well. I was busy packing the food we were going to bring, while my husband and the children loaded the items into our vehicle. As I was about to depart, the pantry door latched from the other side. I had gone there to check some of the items. I became anxious. I yelled for assistance and knocked on the door, but nobody answered. I kept hitting it in an attempt to get someone's notice, but nobody came to my aid. I called out to my mother-in-law after hearing her voice. She only chuckled at me. "Well, I apologize so much, but there is a seating issue. Due to a restricted seating arrangement, I have chosen to not include you on the excursion. Maya will take your place, therefore you should remain here. I will personally file your divorce papers with my kid if you ever attempt to get back to me on this. Goodbye." Although I've always known she had hidden agendas, I didn't expect how terrible they would be. This is really harsh. I was aware that she was capable of such things. Fortunately, the pantry had pointed things, which I used to pry open the lock. As soon as I was free, I made my way to our porch, where everyone congregates before heading off on vacation. They were on their way out, having already climbed inside the van. I recognized Maya as the person I saw inside. When my mother-in-law noticed me coming, she told the driver to get out. My kids and spouse were oblivious to me. My spouse texted me after a short while, asking if it was true that my mother had covered the cost of the vacation. "You told me falsehoods about having everything ready." I went to my knees. What is my spouse attempting to convey? Was it dishonest of my mother-in-law to claim credit for the vacation that I paid for? No way, this is already excessive. And that's when I got very serious about revealing my mother-in-law's dishonesty and getting the credit I deserve. I began to think of ways I might exact my retribution. I spoke with the resort personnel in private, explaining my intentions and the real reason for the trip's funding. Since they were now traveling for 8 hours, I took my time plotting my retaliation. I informed them that I wanted the beach resort employees to take my family to a lavish banquet in honor of my mother-in-law as soon as they arrived. I also emphasized that the meal has to be opulent and spectacular. I also gave the crew instructions to send me updates in real time. My family was led to the location as soon as they arrived at the beach resort. They informed me that my mother-in-law's insistence that she hadn't reserved a banquet hall nearly led to a confrontation with the receptionist. Ultimately, my itinerary diary did not contain a mention of it. After everyone had taken their seats, a slideshow began to play. The real moment. She had been successful in tricking my family to believing that she was the one who had orchestrated everything. So the reality was exposed by the slideshow. It demonstrated my hard work and careful preparation. In addition, I displayed my mother-in-law's cruelty and animosity against me. The staff informed me that despite my mother-in-law's false appearance of sweetness and heavenly qualities, my family was taken aback by what they found. It was clear that she was embarrassed when her falsehoods were revealed to everyone. I also instructed the staff to underline to my mother-in-law that the cost and duration of the reservation would be incurred as a result of her actions, and that she would be responsible for paying for the banquet space. My mother-in-law finally called me after a time. I responded to it immediately. Her voice was begging to be heard. "Please forgive me, Olivia. I never intended to cause you pain or mislead the family. I was only attempting to establish my value, demonstrate my ability to contribute, and demonstrate your unfitness to be a member of our family. You must accept the repercussions of your conduct. You attempted to take credit for something I worked so hard for by taking advantage of my goodwill. I really apologize. Can I do anything to put things right, please?" "Well, actually, there's something you can do. You will pay for the banquet hall that was booked for 2 days with a $300 per hour rate. But that's a significant amount of money." "It is, indeed. It's a minor cost to pay for the knowledge you have gained. It's time for you to acknowledge the effects of your actions on others around you and the implications of your choices." "Pardon me, please. Not that I have a lot of money. I have no idea what to do." "After that, do yourself a favor and spend a week working there. That should be enough to make up for all the harm you caused on the trip my family was meant to remember." The trip was cancelled as a result of the event. Everyone save my mother-in-law went home. She is entitled to work there and get paid in full. My hubby gave me a hug. I am so proud of you for standing up for yourself, and I'm sorry for not realizing what was happening sooner. It's not exclusive to me. It concerns the value of honesty and trust in our family. We've all gained important knowledge from this event. My mother-in-law genuinely had to learn her lesson the hard way after that. I'm positive that the vacation my family and I have rescheduled will be even more wonderful.